Good afternoon, everybody. This is January 25th, 2020. It's Saturday. So Chinese New Year, and hope everybody over in China is celebrating and having a great time. Man, the kind of scary, all the illnesses and stuff going on, and over in China, the coronavirus kind of spooky. And my friends there in China, I just wish you guys all the best. Please stay safe and do what you can to stay safe. You can't be afraid to go out. When I worked in the healthcare business for 8 years myself, I was exposed to a lot of things and just took it on and just did it. That we can't overcome. This is the year of the rat. Okay, some of you know I'm a cock. Okay, this year the rat. It's about 35 days since the winter solstice, and kind of interesting how the Chinese New Year is about 35 days after the winter solstice. So I don't know all the things there is to know about that culture. Of course, as my friends include me in, I've got a lot to learn. With my main service, getting back to my main service, I think I found a better solution, and it's actually less expensive than drawing up and combining what I was about to build, and I found an off-the-shelf solution to convert what is my existing mains into a load center, and then put the inverter off of one leg to that into my existing mains and do it properly. And as I explained before, there are some loads there that I want to be able to control, not really control, but to just be off the main service, and will always be tied to the main service. And then power goes out, I can hook up just like a generator and go clunk and on the mains to make sure nothing goes back, and get those done. And I think I found a pretty good solution for that. It's not built exactly the way I like it to be built, but it's off the shelf, and I'm exploring that avenue. The title of this is, I've always faced, do you want good, better, or best, or better than best? And me, I've always been driven to do better than best. And sometimes upgrades and things aren't better than best. I still use a lot of programs, as a matter of fact, that were originally written, for example, in DOS 3.1. I still use some Unix programs. So and believe it or not, I still use Fortran, BASIC. Lots of different things going on, and it's been a challenge getting geared up to formulate improvements to battery management system to reach the goals and that I have. In exploring battery cabinets and what's available generally off the shelf, fairly expensively. I mean, expensive as some people's whole house. And I've always been driven to take the complicated and make it simple, and that's what I'm attempting to do for myself on my own household project, and changing over to the best of the best, better than best, and be best of the best. And what's really cool is what we think is best of the best today. The way in my lifetime I've always thought things that I thought were impossible every decade are coming possible, not just possible, but probable. So we keep growing and keep learning, and the things that I dreamed of as a child are coming true. It's been a gradual process. It wasn't just like, pop, the light bulb went off and it's all done. It's just a gradual process, and it's been a pleasure all the way through. But if somebody out there has really developed a 200 amp panel, I'd rather have it stacked on top of each other. But this one also allows, when I put my solar panels up, to do other things, and then gives me more options if I want to add more direct pass-through loads to other appliances that I have. So I kind of like this idea right there. Okay. Getting back to all I want is a little more than I'll ever get. Okay. That carrot's just out there dangling right there in front of me. That keep striving for that carrot and get it. But that cooler, that true cooler that I showed you in the past, ran it for 130 hours, and that's a long way from 216 hours. Okay, and it averaged during that time 422 watts during that runtime. 54.91 kilowatt hours it consumed. It did, and so in the way that homes are wired, that energy comes through, goes to the neutral, and back out. So we energy does not really like to be stored. It'll be stored and tolerated to store itself for a little bit, but it likes to be used and unselfishly used. And it's kind of fun the way electricity works. And those of us that we used to call it ether, now I think the correct buzzword is quantum fluid. But I'm learning that there's no quantity that can be measured, because it's always moving, and it's basically the same force. That may the force be with you. So that force, yes, you can drop it, and you can drop it with density, and there's chemical solutions that you can do to do different things. And I'm going to tell you a little story, okay? When I was racing two-stroke motors, I hydrogenated my blocks, okay? Aluminum blocks that are hydrogenated, you're actually hydrogenating the ions. And those of you that really understand racing engines realize you're not really burning fuel. You are priming the nitrogen under vacuum to do nitrogen's work. And so there are some things with my battery technology that's quite a bit different than anybody else's, in that the ionic hydrogen charge in hydrogenating is one of the things I can share with you of why my technology is different from lithium ion. Like I said, lithium ion batteries are very unique, and this is just another technology that has got to be developed and proven more. And it takes time. You just don't poof, you ionically charge aluminum. So you don't see it as like electricity, but there is ionic charging that you can do, and it changes and gives you a little bit better advantage than what normal. And so for whatever it's worth, that and $1 gets you a cup of coffee. One of the things that as I've been going through my survey, my little chest deep freezer, it's a little 7.5 cubic foot chest deep freezer. I've always liked that thing, and it it sips very little electricity, and it's amazing. It runs very cold temperatures, and it averages out um, over a year. Uh, uh, you know, $30 worth of electricity a year, not a month. Okay. So there's a huge difference in technologies to where, like, this True unit is basically $30 a month to operate, and um, half the size that it is. Um, the operates for in a chest type freezer. That's just a cooler. And a chest type freezer operates for a year on it. So when you're figuring things out, look especially for food preparation. I've always recommended a little 7.5 because I've used them in transporting food. With a pure sine, they're not designed for modified sine wave, but a pure sine wave inverter will run that as you're running down the highway and keep your food cold, and then the insulation is pretty good on. And they, no noise off of them, but that technology is just one example of freezing food to way down. So just wanted to share that with you, is comparing an energy hog to a unit that sips that does actually more in preserving foods than a cooler. So you can put ice in a chest type freezer and go back 5 months later, that ice is still there. It doesn't evaporate off if you keep it bagged. A little bit will be missing, but not very much. So anyway, keep looking, keep innovating, keep working hard, and just keep on having fun. And it is fun. It's fun. It's hard work, but it takes time to get everything developed. So that's my solution from what I showed you the other day. These units that I had looked at and drawn up, I've already found a better solution. It's actually less expensive. That was the thing that was less. So if you're planning on doing this, look and see what it is that you're wanting, and then I will share with you what my final decision is. But I know what I want, and I hadn't been able to find what I want exactly, but that's what I do, is I keep plugging at it, keep plugging at it, keep plugging at it. And what's neat when you're buying things off the shelf like that to work with, you don't have buyer's remorse. Sometimes it pays to wait. And this is one of the times that, as far as what I could do physically with either modifying things off the shelf or not, figure out what it is that you really want, and if they don't make it, draw it up at least, and understand what it is that you really want. And if you can't do it for yourself, you can do it for yourself. I've done many things for myself because it wasn't available off the shelf. Just strictly had to build it, and that's been the thing, is that I've built a lot of toys through the years that worked for me, but I wouldn't want to share it with anybody else because I knew how to operate it and keep it safe. But you couldn't develop it for the mass market. Whenever you develop something for the mass market, you want it to be where you can set it, forget it, and it has all the bells and whistles to keep you safe. And it's kind of like there's always an idiot out there that's going to try to pick up a lawnmower with his bare hands on the inside and try to landscape something, and he ends up losing fingers and stuff, and he sues the manufacturer because they didn't write the instructions on there. And so, it happens. So that's the reason that I don't share a lot of the toys that I've created, is just to keep. I know the hazard and don't do it, but I don't necessarily share it. But in this, there are solutions that you can buy off the shelf that are less expensive than what you can create it. And sometimes when you can generate enough volume, you can have some manufacturers make modifications, and they'll make you buy an ungodly amount of units. And sometimes I've been able, in my capacities, acting as a purchasing agent for others, to get that volume up where I can have that feature put in there I want. So comes from lots of experience. So just wanted to give you an update of where I am, getting everything planned to raise the mast off my roof, and hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. Hope all of our friends over in China stay safe from the I think it's called the 2019 N for novelty, and it's the H little o V virus. So it's pretty potent cold, if you ask me, and expected a lot of people could be hurt by that. So y'all just stay safe, and we'll see you next trip. Hope you're having fun, because we are.